Hello, I'm Hannah, and this is Hannah's Books. Today, I want to have a short little chat and just share a little bit about my morning with you. It was not a bookish morning in any way. Actually, that isn't quite true. I'll get to that later. As many of you know, 6 months ago, I had rotator cuff surgery on my dominant shoulder. And while I still have another 6 months of physical therapy, my recovery and rehabilitation are going really well. I've gained back a great deal of mobility and strength, more than I've had since my injury 3 years ago. All in all, I'm very happy with where things stand, and I'm looking forward to getting even stronger. Just recently, I've added a couple of days of indoor water-based exercise classes each week. Classes meant for people going through various kinds of physical recovery or people who are adjusting to aging-related issues. One is a gentle aqua aerobics done in shoulder deep water, and one is a deep water running class where we all wear flotation belts to allow us to stay upright without having to rely on constant use of whatever limb we're rehabbing. And then after both these classes, I head to the warm therapy pool to do stretching exercises on my shoulder. Some recreation centers have actual therapy pools, full-size pools heated to about 90 degrees. The center I go to, which is walking distance to my house, does not have such a pool, but it does have a large hot tub. And about half the people in there before and after our rehab classes are doing assorted kinds of exercises on particular joints, etc. It's been wonderful. On weekends, there are swimming classes there for young people, and I always love my Saturday morning class where I get to see them trying out new strokes in one of the shallower pools. Today was especially exciting. There was a special event, Mer Magic Con. Yes, a convention for mermaids and mermen who filled the changing rooms and the various pools with not only scale print leggings and conch shell bras, but also glitter and sequins and far more joy and laughter than we usually share in there. During our deep water running class, one section of the pool was roped off to take underwater pictures of swimmers who had dressed themselves in especially elaborate costumes, including multicolored, shiny mermaid tails. My fellow exercisers and I, doing our aqua-based alpine skiing and the like, loved watching the mermaids try to slip both their legs into one tail and then shimmy over to the side of the pool and slide in. And when our class finished and we were all out of the pool, the Mer Magic Con event really got underway. I watched from upstairs where there's a huge plate glass window that allows people to look down on the largest pool, which was soon surrounded by mermaids in their tails who sat along all sides of the pool until the countdown, when they all slid into the water for mer movement time. What fun. I'll show you just a little footage I took, but as I said, it was through an upstairs window, so it might be pretty fuzzy. And that wasn't all I saw at the pool today. The other was quite a bit more serious and meaningful. If you've read much about American slavery, you've probably seen the amazing photograph, often called by the name of its subject, Peter, a man who had escaped from slavery right around the Civil War period. And in the very early days of photography, he posed for a photo of what was called his scourged back, the extensive scarring from the whippings he had endured during slavery. That photo circulated widely in abolitionist circles, and it is, of course, still extraordinarily powerful as a testimony of both the horrific violence of slavery and also the resilience of the people who lived through it. From the time I was a little girl, I've seen those scars as a tree on Peter's back, a living part of him. Some scholars have pointed out that this photo is often the only evidence of serious beating that many of us ever really have seen. Others have marveled at the dignity that the man shows in this photo. I love a quote from 2011 from the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. Quote, he's basically saying, this is a fact. Last September, Trump ordered the removal of the photograph from its home in Georgia at a national monument, along with other artifacts and exhibits about slavery in national parks across the nation. Today, as I sat in the hot tub, I watched the older man sitting on the side after his own warm soak, working on specific mobility exercises. And as he turned, I was taken aback when I saw his back. Spreading across it was a tattoo, the limbs of a tree, very clearly a reference to that astonishing 19th century photograph. I thought of that line from The Atlantic. The man was saying this was a fact, one that still matters, no matter how much the current administration tries to erase it. Thanks for joining me today. See you soon here on Hannah's Books.